Hello, today I'm going to be doing a review on the book Duke, Prince of Hearts. It's a book written by Kiru Taye, and I got my copy from Amazon.com. You can pick up your copy from everywhere that sells books. This is a dark romance novel. It tells the story of mafia families, and you're going to find a lot of things in the book that actually trigger. So if you're someone that's easily triggered, I recommend that you just pass this book by. This is a mafia story, as I mentioned earlier. I think it's more like, a Romeo and Juliet story, but with a happily ever after, a Romeo and Juliet story for Africans. It tells the story of Carla and Duke. Carla meets Duke at a club, and she decides to play a trick to get his attention because she was attracted to him. What was supposed to be a one-night stand ends up being something deeper and bigger, particularly when they find out that they are from two opposing rival mafia families. So the question becomes, will love conquer all, and will they be able to overcome all the obstacles that will be coming up as a result of their families, their loyalties, and also the value system that comes with each of their families? It's a dark romance, as I mentioned earlier. So for people that would like, the audience for this book are people that like action stories involving mobs and mafias, people that enjoy 365 days, and there's a particular reason why. And those are the people that will actually really enjoy the book. When you read this book, I recommend that if you're not easily triggered and you do decide to read this book, that you read this book with a very open mind. There are lots of gray areas in this book, and so there are questions that you're going to be asking yourself as you read the book, particularly after you're done. So I like the book, as I mentioned before, because it was a dark romance. I haven't really read many stories by African authors that feature mafia kings and mafias actually finding love, and the way the whole story was constructed was very different from what I'm normally used to reading. So I really liked that. I also like the fact that Kiru Taye, of course, is a very good author, so she's able to take you into her world in the way she tells her story. So you're able to actually picture each of the characters in the story and who they are, and even sometimes actually can also picture how they sound too as well. So I like that. Of course, as I mentioned before, it's a dark romance, and unfortunately, to read this book, you're going to have to put your value system on the side. So I'm going to say certain things which I actually didn't enjoy, and this is particular to me. Other people will really like this about the book, so please do not use my perspective as a reason not to go purchase the book and read it. So these are the things I didn't really like. Even though Kiru Taye was doing a great job of actually painting each of these characters, each of the protagonists, as flawed humans, I found it very difficult to like them. Normally, I'm someone who roots for the protagonist to actually get to their happily ever after, to overcome all the obstacles, but I found myself not really caring whether they ended up together or not. I don't know if it's because, both of them were involved in things that were criminal and were wrong, and both of them were involved in things that were actually troubling for society as a whole. So I just don't know whether that was my issue with it, but I just had a hard time actually really liking them. The author tries to show that Duke's mafia are involved in good things in the community. So it's good that she shows that there's a balance. Yes, they do some bad, but they also do some good. And Carla's family is altogether all bad. But I think this is a question in which you have to start looking at whether it's an issue of one scene being better than the other. Because to me, Duke and Carla's family, they were both bad. Another thing I had a problem with were some of the sexual scenes in the book. And this is the same issue I had when I watched 365 Days too as well. Punishing a woman in that way and trying to turn it into something more, I don't know. I just found I didn't really like that, and again, as I mentioned, it's a gray area in the book, so maybe that is my own value system that is playing a role there, I don't know. Another thing I kept on asking myself when I read this book too was the issue of age, because Duke seems way much older than Carla was. Carla was just 24. So as I've mentioned several times, I often get particular about age difference, because I do think that they play a role in relationships, and this is my value system again talking. So I was just like very stuck on that. But beyond that, it's a great book. The author writes beautifully, and I recommend that you go pick up a copy from Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, and everywhere that they sell books. Till next time, take care, and most importantly, God bless. Ciao.